Well, hey everybody, it's Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop, and welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at La Marzocco USA. Go to the website lamarzocco.usa.com and check out the huge range of espresso machines and different configurations from high tech to simple that will serve your needs perfectly. I mean, La Marzocco has been making espresso machines for almost 100 years. They make them by hand in Florence, Italy. They're known for beauty, dependability, and innovation. For all of the time that they've been around, they've listened to their customers' needs in the cafe, and that's why the brand of La Marzocco is trusted by the world's best coffee shops. And so if you're looking for a great piece of equipment, whether that's a grinder or an espresso machine, go to lamarzocco.usa.com or reach out to them, info@lamarzocco.usa.com. One of their sales folks will be happy to talk to you about getting the right gear for your cafe. So a huge thank you to La Marzocco. Also, our friends at rattleware.com, smallwares that just work. So the big thing about smallwares is that they're actually not small. They might be physically small. They might be, you don't think about them enough or as much. But when they're not working, you think about them all the time. It's the most annoying thing, like a little stone in your shoe, right? It's there to support your business until it's not working. That's what also frustrates them at Rattleware. That's why they make stuff that works. It's functional, it's resilient, it's there to support your business. So you're talking about whisks and knock boxes and pitchers and shot glasses and all that stuff. Go to rattleware.com and check out what they have made, what they have to offer, and get your business set up for success at rattleware.com. Now, today's episode is all about management, but a specific thing about management. And this is something, as we do our key holder coaching groups, and I host these are mastermind style coaching groups that we run twice a year. So in these conversations, we talk often about the delegation of leadership responsibility to other people. And some of the things that I also talk about with clients that are opening coffee shops or are wanting to improve their existing shops revolves a lot around this management topic. And the reason why I'm bringing this up today is because there's one thing that always needs to be a part of the conversation anytime a manager steps into a new management position, or anytime you're giving a manager expectations for that position. And that is that the prerequisite is learning. I'm not talking necessarily about onboarding, but the mindset that a manager should have, and something that you cultivate in them as well, not against their will, but along with their desire for learning, is helping them take the seat of learning about the business and about the people, about how things are done, what systems already exist for them to become very good at before they put their unique touch on the business. I have been guilty of this, and I think if you're honest and you've been in this business for a long time, you've said, if I ever get into management, I'm going to change this, that, and the other thing, right? Because this my manager sucks, and I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's, like I've always said, I've done a bad job at management. I've done a really good job at management. Like recognizes like, right? So you can see from a wide lens of experience what's behind all of these things. And I'm going to tell you that problematic leadership comes from problematic thinking. It comes from defensiveness. It comes from ego. It comes from the idea that we already know what to do. We don't need to learn how things are already done. I'm here to change things. I'm here to shake things up. Good thing I'm here. I'm the manager. I'm the boss. I'm going to change everything. That is a bad sign. You can't hire a person like that to be a manager in your space, whether they're coming from outside the business or inside the business. If you're that person and you're getting an opportunity to be a manager, you've got to get rid of that idea and take a little step back and put yourself in a position of humility and learn, be expert in even the things that you technically disagree with. Because then you're doing what is basically called in rhetoric, in argumentation, steel manning, which is to say, instead of straw manning, which is building a false case of your opponent's perspective in order to tear it down, you're actually working to understand and speak to that person, their position, almost better than they did. You understand the system so well, in fact, that now the solution that you thought you were going to bring to what problem it was that you perceived was there, it may have changed. But if it doesn't change, at least you know, and others people actually know, you know what you're talking about. You haven't just come in from the outside, or you haven't come in from this position of barista to manager and then said you're going to do all these different things because you haven't learned the basics yet. Again, even if those basics are things that you think are not right, you at least need to take the time to learn them and do whatever it is really, really well to the specifications of the company. And then you build trust. You build trust credit. You build the ability to be heard. We've talked about this a few times on the show, but specifically, I wanted to address this when it comes to management because I see this happen a lot where people get frustrated that they're not allowed to basically have carte blanche on the company because that's what they thought management was going to be. That's just bad leadership. And you can import that when you don't really recognize it from an interview that you do with a prospective manager. If they're full of ideas, if they're full of like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I have all these, I'm so itching to get into management, buyer beware. Buyer beware, because the humility is just where is it? We're hiring you in this role, not necessarily to change us. Management can be part of change. Leadership is part of management. I don't like parsing out leadership and management too much, but management is actually a stewardship role. And if you're taking on a position of management, you need to be coming from a serving perspective, just like hospitality. So you think of yourself as a manager of a place, you are serving the needs of your staff through serving the needs of the business, through the tools and frameworks and systems that exist, with the hopes that in your eventual expertise and deep knowledge of this, and the deepening of your relationship of trust with those groups of people, your boss, the owner, the baristas, that when you do diagnose and suggest or bring up a change, it's going to be so much better than if you just broke out your binder of your wish list that was born from angst of past jobs and said, well, now that I'm manager, here are some things I want us to do. It's just not going to go well. And that example of taking the learning position, that seat of humility, that works every time. And here's the thing, even if it doesn't work because the boss that you're working for, just you're at an impasse, maybe you are literally in a toxic environment or something, you are building who you are by the decisions you make, the integrity you have with your role as a leader. And if you insist on trying to force your will upon others because of your authority, that kind of makes you tyrannical. And it's not something you would put up with from a boss necessarily, unless you are that boss. And then all of a sudden it's okay for us to do it. I don't think so. And owners or others who are hiring, don't hire in somebody who is giving you these red or sometimes reddish hued flags that they're just there to enact their passionate ideas about what coffee can be and aren't so much interested in your business and serving your baristas and your customers well, or even you as the owner of the business. That is a prerequisite for anybody who's an authority in a cafe, in my opinion. So let's go forward with that mindset that people who are in management, it is first about learning. It is first about deepening your knowledge, building trust in relationships. And afterwards, if there yet remains this idea that I really do, because I know this business so well, and you know me so well, and I serve the business well, I really do think this is a great idea for the business. Now we're talking. Now we're going to actually get somewhere, and it's actually going to stick this time. We can all be happy about that. So that's all I wanted to talk about, y'all. I hope you're doing well. And if you're interested in coaching or consultation for yourself, your management team, your business, we do lots of different things for clients. Long-term clients have worked with Keys to the Shop to help them start coffee shops, train their staff, and even do assessments after their launch. Existing cafes have invited Keys to the Shop to their cafe for many days to do an assessment and follow-up coaching with them and their team to help refine their systems for quality and people, and also hospitality. So if that's interesting to you, or you want to learn more about our coaching groups coming up and apply, go to keystotheshop.com and you can find all you need to know there, but you can reach out directly, chris@keystotheshop.com. That's it, everyone. Thanks so much, and I will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break from Keys to the Shop.